Welcome to the TiE Sustainability Summit. Welcome all the delegates, dignitaries, government officials, mentors, startups, corporates, fellow charter members and associate members of TiE Hyderabad and TiE Global chapters. It's great to have you all participate in the TiE Sustainability Summit 2021. As you all know, it is time now to reinvent capitalism that is currently only working for profits and for people and start focusing on the third leg of the equation, our planet. To tackle urgent planetary challenges, especially around resource constraints, resource depletion, and climate change, we need to fundamentally rethink the way we do business. We intend to make this Sustainability Summit as a platform that creates awareness and a medium through which all the stakeholders can share innovative ideas to develop a sustainable capitalism and also operationalize this steps to make sustainability an integral part of the business. As you all know, net zero by 2050 is no longer a choice. It is mandatory for all of us to work towards it. Have a wonderful summit. Let's all share ideas. Let's all meet new people. Let us all act together. We should move to work on how to operationalize sustainability into entrepreneurship and the corporate businesses. I want to thank our title sponsor, Adani Group, for making this summit a reality. I also thank all the esteemed speakers for taking their valuable time in participating in the summit. We have over 35,000 delegates from all across the world, 225 speakers from all over the world participating in this summit. Let's all enjoy it, make it a grand success, share and catalyze ourselves to make a difference. Thank you all. Look forward to everybody's participation.
Hello, everyone, and I'm proud and honored to be part of the TiE Sustainability Summit 2021 being held from 4th to 6th of October by TiE Hyderabad as the co-chair. It's really an opportune time for the sector, the SDG, special impact on environment, recycling, energy, water, soil, agri-tech, earth. I think that it's a very vast subject, and this is a great initiative by TiE, and I urge everyone to be part of this, whether you are a startup, whether you are an investor, whether you are a scholar or a student. This summit will give you great insights into all these sectors. You can deep dive into specific areas, or you can have a general conversation overview of the sector. In the future of countries like India, the future of the world and the world environment lies in this sector. I think this is a very, very hot sector for me as an investor, for me as a member of TiE and a responsible citizen of the earth. I think the sustainability going forward and the requirements of human needs and working with the environment will be a key to the sector. And I urge everyone to be part of this summit. Thank you.
The reason I signed up for TiE Sustainability Summit is because as we age, we realize that we must leave a better footprint, and I for one would want to leave a better sustainable home for my children.
I do believe that it's important for all of us, entrepreneurs, investors, to be sensitive to what sustainability is and how, by all of us adopting sustainability, we will have to do our bit for the future of the world.
Earlier this year, I was wondering if I could contribute to the sustainability mission, knowing our planet is in peril. I guess God heard me, and next thing I know, TiE Hyderabad chapter embarked on hosting the Sustainability Summit at a global level.
I have two reasons for participating in this conference. First, I believe that this conference will help me to understand the new and first generation entrepreneurs' idea towards sustainability. Second, I am looking forward to have the interactions with eminent personalities on the sustainability subject.
Greetings and a very warm welcome to the TiE Sustainability Summit 2021. As the chair of this summit, I believe that sustainability is the new oil. Sustainability offers a gajillion of opportunities for us, the entrepreneurs. This summit serves as a global platform to learn and share best practices from our partner countries and strategic businesses in sustainability. We are closely working with our partner countries, Israel and Costa Rica, to work towards building a better future in the sustainability space. I believe this summit will create a platform to spark $100 million funding for startups in the sustainability space. The impact of this summit can be felt, and it will do a lot of good to this planet, Earth, while creating phenomenal opportunities for the social enterprises. This summit brings over 40,000 entrepreneurs, 200 plus investors, several thought leaders, global leaders, and environment evangelists across the globe to share their insights and collaborate on sustainability. I wish you all a great time at the summit, and I hope that you will cherish the experience for the times to come. Thank you and all the best.
Very good morning to all of you present here and a very warm welcome. Welcome to TiE Sustainability Summit 2021. While the world is still discussing, this is where we have started to act. A very warm welcome to all our delegates, guests and partners, and thank you for being here to witness handshakes, collaborations and projects that could indeed help us move closer to a sustainable world. Now, to give the welcome address and opening remarks, I welcome on stage Mr. Manohar Reddy, Chair, TiE Sustainability Summit 2021, President, TiE Hyderabad, CEO, Fiji Inc. Mr. Mahavir Pratap Sharma, Co-Chair, TiE Sustainability Summit 2021, Past Chair, TiE Global President, TiE India Angels. And Mr. Suresh Raju, Conference Co-Chair, TiE Sustainability Summit 2021, Vice President, TiE Hyderabad and MD, Golden Hills Capital. Lovely to have you here. There you go, Chief.
Thank you, Harish.
Sureshka.
A very warm welcome. Good morning. Shalom. Pura Vida. Great to have all of you here. Happy to see so many representatives from Costa Rica, Israel, and our partners, and from Telangana government, and of course our sponsors, charter members, board members, and well-wishers, associate members, startups. Thank you. You all know it's a virtual summit, but we are doing the physical inauguration to kick off this event, and the whole world is watching. At this point, you probably might be aware, this is the world's largest summit for the entrepreneurs in the sustainability space. When we started, we had a target of about reaching 25,000 entrepreneurs, and majority of them would be for-profit social enterprises. We actually met the target about 3 days ago, and that would not have been possible without a stupendous work done by my colleagues, TiE Secretariat, partners, and the teams that have worked 24/7, in fact, burning the midnight oil. Thank you all. Thank you very much. So we all spoke about sustainability. You all are aware of it. I'll try to keep it brief. What is sustainability? Sustainability is meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It is actually taken in a spirit of mostly as a corporate social responsibility or environmentalism that we have to do some good to the planet Earth. But why we are doing this event and why TiE is doing, which is actually the organization with about 3,000 charter members who are successful entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs, and we actually mentor, support, invest with about 12,000 startups who are our associate members. Why we have taken up this cause is not just that we want to do good to the planet Earth, because the sustainability is the new opportunities for the decades to come. Everyone has to understand and follow and make sure that we are sustainable going forward, and in every field that we will be in, and there are opportunities for entrepreneurs to create wealth and go back and give back to the 3 pillars of sustainability. One is the environment, the second is the economy, and the third is the society. So you will learn and understand during the period of this event about so many thought leaders sharing what it means for entrepreneurs. So the summit is about where entrepreneurs meet the sustainability. We are trying to create awareness. We are trying to bring the stakeholders together where we all can interact. And I believe personally that it will actually spark off the opportunities for the participants to the tune of about $100 million in the course to come. Because the kind of the interest, the investors, and some of the interactions that we are expecting post this event. This is only a kickoff event. We are not trying to say this is an event and we all will clap and then go back. This is actually a starting point for what will happen in the next few years and what role TiE would play in actually making sure that we are all aligned to the sustainability. So how big it is? I just wanted to put it on the screen, Saurabh. We have been counting for the last few days, and every day morning in the sustainability team calls, we used to put up that number. Today, we are actually 40,000 plus registrations across the world. And you can understand what is the importance that people are giving to the sustainability. And TiE ecosystem has actually first time reached out to sectors that were not actually very much engaged with the TiE ecosystem earlier. I'm talking about the social enterprises. Out of these 40,000, 30,000 plus are social enterprises. And we would be able to interact with them during the summit and post that. We are looking at the outcomes from this summit and initiatives that will kick off from this summit. And we thank our sponsors, Adani Group, and rest of the sponsors who have made all of this possible. We had a great golf cup yesterday. We all have enjoyed. It's a great start for our event. I would like to close with a quote from Margaret Meads. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change this world. Indeed, it is the only thing that has ever has. Thank you very much. All the best. And Good luck for a great summit. Yeah, I'll let Mahavir speak.
Thank you, Manohar. Great opening remarks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are. Just for those of you who don't know TiE as much, TiE's mission and vision, three things that the ethos that I feel TiE has always been strong about, which go very well with the Sustainability Summit. TiE has always been ahead of its time. 1992, when the Silicon Valley chapter was formed, from there to growing into multiple chapters, making sure entrepreneurship is a buzzword, jobs are created. Then networking became a strength that was required, so chapters were opened across the globe. From coming to India and telling BSNL, Bhagao, Desh Bachao, and getting privatization in telecom, to fintech earlier on, to BPOs, KPOs, to Angel program in 2005-06 in Silicon Valley, launch of Indian Angel Network, and many other networks which were part of TiE Charter members' mandate, because TiE could not angel. So we've always been ahead of time, and I think sustainability, as you know, is a key, and I think we will focus on that, and I think going forward to the 5-10 years, this will be the buzzword going forward, and so TiE Global and TiE Hyderabad are proud to be part of that, one. Secondly, TiE has always worked at the bottom of the pyramid. We just don't scratch the surface. We just don't do Gyan and panel and networking, or we just make sure that we handhold each and every aspect of the sector, handhold them from mentoring to investing to taking them all the way so that they become creators of impact in the sector, and that's very important. So this is just the beginning of a long-term association, and we've taken every program, whether it's in schools or colleges, and we've created impact, and we continue to do that with women, university, social impact, etc. So sustainability, going forward, you will see a lot of action happening on the ground, and that will be the second thing. The third and the last and the most important thing is that we really want to create an impact, and with partners like Adani, with partners and charter members who are invested in the sector, I think we will create unicorns of the world. We will make India an exemplary country when it comes to sustainability, all SDG goals. I just read today that China and India have a green cover that's going up year on year from the last 20 years. That's what NASA has just said yesterday or day before. So I think India is on the track. We as entrepreneurs need to invest our time and money and make sure the startups and technology enables that at a much faster growth rate. So I wish all of you success. I wish the TSS success, and I'm hoping that TiE Hyderabad and TiE Global will work together alongside countries like Israel, which are exemplary, and Costa Rica and South Americas and Americas of the world to take this goal way, way forward. Thank you. Suresh.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the TiE Sustainability Summit. I just want to give one stat, okay, on sustainability. It is expected that if we invest $4 trillion from 2030 to 2050, $4 trillion into 20 years, that's what it takes to be net zero by 2050. Huge opportunity, the opportunity of the century in terms of creating entrepreneurial journeys, creating opportunities to make a difference to businesses, people, and the planet. We want to initiate that. We are trying to create the first step here by creating awareness through the TiE ecosystem, which is built on entrepreneurship and fostering entrepreneurship. Can we bring that entrepreneurial energy into sustainability? Think about it, guys. 4 trillion into 20 years. That's what it takes. That's the amount of opportunity ahead of us. With that, we have a great lineup of speakers, 200 plus speakers over the next 2.5 days. It starts this evening on the virtual platform, tomorrow morning, evening, Wednesday morning, evening. Great lineup of topics, including the most closest to my heart, which is how do you operationalize this sustainability? We all talk about it, but what are the steps? What should business leaders take forward in operationalizing these steps to make a difference? That's what we'll talk through the entire conference. We'll see you again at the closing ceremony. Have a wonderful conference, and welcome to all.
Thank you so much. And to make sure we have the right kind of blessings to make sure sustainability is sustainable, we will be lighting the lamp. And to light the lamp, I request on stage His Excellency Dr. Claudia Anzorena, Ambassador, Republic of Costa Rica. Ms. Ronnie Yedidia Klein, Deputy Chief Mission of Israel, Ms. Vedat Zari, Director Startup Central Israel, and Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, IAS Principal Secretary of Industries and Commerce and IT, Government of Telangana, to please come up on stage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As they say, well begun, half done. So thank you so much for joining us on stage for lighting the lab. Thank you. Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a ton. Yeah. So to start this entire conversation that we are about to have here, we have a very special message from Ms. Nikki Haley, former US Ambassador to the UN. So could we please have the AV on big screen? Thank you.
Hi, it's Nikki Haley, and I want to welcome everyone to the TiE Summit. I am so jealous and sorry that I'm not there in Hyderabad, but I love the idea of what's getting ready to happen. Entrepreneurs and the private sector are capable of so many solutions that we face in the world, especially when it comes to the environment. I saw that as governor, I saw it as ambassador. When the private sector gets to work on solutions, magic happens. So I wish everyone all the best as you come together to find solutions and work together on how we're going to move our world forward. We've seen this work in education, we've seen it work in healthcare. I think we can see it work in the environment as well. So God bless. I hope to see you soon. Take care.
So first of all, Bokatov to all our friends and partners from Israel. And trust me, they have been our friend and ally in our quest to become a lot more sustainable. So before I invite our delegate on stage, we're going to be having a very interesting video on Israel's advanced farming technologies. Let's take a look at that.
Food security is a critical concern as the global population expands and natural resources dwindle. Smart solutions for more efficient farming, hardier crops, alternative sources of nutrition, and safer food packaging and storage are essential. No other single country, certainly not one as young and as tiny as Israel, has contributed more breakthroughs to this area than Israel. Since the 1950s, Israelis have not only been finding miraculous ways to green their own desert, but have shared their discoveries far and wide. Israel uses its groundwater and lake water, yes. But key to its water security are efforts such as drilling deep wells, massive desalination, reusing treated sewage for farming, finding and fixing leaks early, engineering crops to thrive in onerous conditions, implementation of high-tech harvesting techniques, discouraging gardening, making efficient toilets mandatory, and pricing water to discourage waste. Israel invented new technologies for drip irrigation. It maximizes water use. Drip irrigation has 95% efficiency, while flood irrigation only has 30%. It helps precisely control irrigation and deliver water uniformly. Moreover, with proper use, it has a lifespan of 25 to 30 years. Drip irrigation is part of their knowledge transfer with India under the Indo-Israel Agriculture Project. They are sharing their experience in designing, implementing, maintaining and using drip irrigation systems. It is already used widely in India. In fact, the country is the largest adopter of technology in the world. In many countries, land holdings are huge, and for best results, farmers must know the issues each part of the field is facing. In precision agriculture, satellite images can help you determine which parts of the field need more water, which plants have pest infestations, etc. This can help better utilize resources. So if one plant is healthy, and the one next to it is not, we can maximize efficiency by only spraying pesticides on the diseased plant. But it is important to remember solutions like precision agriculture are just tools. They are not our objective. In Israel, labor is very costly, and precision agriculture helps workers focus on the problem areas. About 1/3 of the food produced for human consumption globally is lost or wasted each year. In low-income countries, most of that loss happens in the early and middle stages of the production chain. One problem is that the majority of newly harvested grains and pulses get ruined by pests and mold before reaching the market. Israeli-designed GrainPro cocoons provide a simple and cheap way for African and Asian farmers to keep their grain market fresh. The huge bags, invented by an international food technology consultant, keep both water and air out. They're used in about 100 countries including in Africa, Latin America and the Middle and Far East. To keep bugs at bay, Israeli scientists developed an extensive range of pesticides and herbicides as well as non-chemical and organic biological control methods. In addition, they have adapted greenhouses to arid climates, developed plastic coverings for thermal disinfecting of soil prior to planting, as well as different colored netting for enhanced pest control. And let's not forget sensor-based technologies enabling farmers to grow more food, or the anti-drought remedy of hibernating plants. Indeed, a long and impressive list.
Big round of applause. On behalf of everybody present here, let me tell you, we are proud of you and this friendship. So let me also grab this opportunity to say shalom and welcome on stage Ms. Ronnie Gedida-Klein, Deputy Chief of Mission of Israel, to come up on stage and address the august audience.
Thank you and shalom. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. Shri Manohar Reddy, our wonderful host today, Ambassador Claudia and Serena of Costa Rica, and so many other very distinguished guests that it's too many to name in one very short speech. I'm so pleased to be here today, and it's really a pleasure, and I thank you so much for inviting me to the TiE Sustainability Summit. The partnership between India and Israel is rooted in a very deep friendship, and it's based on our mutual values, mutual interests, mutual challenges, and mutual solutions. And we are very proud at the Israeli Embassy to be partnering with TiE, with India, and the Republic of Costa Rica to promote this, to sponsor this summit. And even more so, as we're talking about the field of sustainability and innovation, two fields which are very close to Israelis' heart. And we're looking into how we can cooperate even more during and after this summit. We have strong collaborations with TiE all across India in several channels, and we're hoping to strengthen them in the future. Both of our countries have realized the central role that innovation has to play in any field as we move towards the future. We've been working together on agriculture and now on water for very many years. In fact, I'm very proud that now, as we head towards the 30th year of diplomatic relations between our two countries, we'll be inaugurating the 30th Center of Excellence very soon here in India. And in the pipeline are 12 more centers of excellence. So we'll be seeing 42 centers of excellence all around the country, like you saw in the video just now, which will help promote Israeli technologies and the Israeli know-how for the Indian farmer in order to help the Indian farmer to grow his products, in order to help the Indian farmer rise above his level of production in order to help Indians in general. The entrepreneurial spirit is deeply ingrained in everyone, like survival skills. It's easy to access information and networks, enabling each individual to contribute his or her smallest ideas. And we're going to go even further now in terms of helping each other. Today, I'm very happy to say that we'll be signing an MOU where Israelis will be on both sides of the table. On one side of the table will be my friend Anat Bernstein-Reich, head of the Israel-Indian Chamber of Commerce and head of TiE Israel, along with TiE India, and they will be on one side of the table. On the other side of the table will be another good friend of mine, Vered Mivtsari of Startup Nation Center, and they'll be signing together an MOU which will help Indian and Israeli startups and companies in implementing various new technologies in agriculture, water, energy, and other fields of interest to both sides. I'm really looking forward to this MOU signature, which will happen in this session later today. India's vast economy and varied experience in a range of development issues provides an opportunity for Israelis and others and our companies to grow and expand our range of solutions, while Israeli technology and innovation is easily tailored and remodeled to address Indian challenges and needs. In this exchange, each country is enriched in different ways, and we support the collaboration between the bright minds of both countries. Through innovation, India and Israel have forged a special partnership which is not only strategic, but technological. Both countries know the value of development and its ongoing nature very well, and their capabilities and needs are complementary. There is enormous potential for collaboration between our two countries using tech innovations, accumulated experience, and an out-of-the-box approach. I'm very proud to be here today with my colleagues, and I'm very happy to welcome the 40,000 registrants from around the world, participants from around the world who are with us by video, and hopefully they will enjoy the next 2.5 days of sessions and workshops. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Now we have a very special live message coming our way from Mr. Avi Hassan, the CEO of Startup Nation Central. And for people who don't know Startup Nation Central, this is the body that has actually created Israel as the entrepreneurial hub for the entire world. So can we have the video right up? Thank you.
He's the one who's going to do the MOU between Israel and according to you.
So do we just do this?
Good morning. Hi, everybody. I had successful business.
Thank you so much, Mr. Avi Hassan. Absolute pleasure to have you here. And now, we're going to be doing something that all of us are waiting for. So now we're going to be signing up the MOU between TiE Hyderabad and TiE Israel with Startup Central, Startup Nation Central. And for that, I would invite on stage Mr. Mahavir Sharma, co-chair TSS 2021, to come on stage to introduce the program. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you. Obviously, thank you for a great introduction to the Startup Nation. As mentioned earlier, Startup Nation is a program that cultivated and was a great enabler in Israel for the startup ecosystem, and we are seeing and hoping that that would be the case here in the three sectors of agri, water, and energy. We are looking at this program for the next 24 months, multiple cohorts, and I would let my colleagues Ranvijay and Vered go into details of the program. But this would be a great enabler between TiE Israel, TiE Hyderabad on one side of the table as partners, and Startup Nation being represented and taking this forward. So I would request all the signatories to come forward and do the formal signing up, and my colleagues to go into details, with Anat and everyone else about the program briefly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahavir Sharma. On behalf of TiE Israel, I request Ms. Anat Bonstein, President of TiE Israel, to please come up on stage to sign the MOU. And on behalf of TiE India, TiE Hyderabad, we have Mr. Ranvijay Lamba, Board Member. I request both of you to please come up on stage. Thank you. And on behalf of Startup Nation Central, we have Ms. Vered Mitzari, Director, Startup Nation Central Israel. I request you to come on stage as well so that we can get this MOU signed. Please, ma'am. Lovely having you here. you. Big round of applause. A moment very important indeed for all the startups and the ecosystem that we stand together to build. Thank you so much. Could we have a quick word from our guests on this collaboration, on this MOU, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Mano. Thanks all my friends. I'm holding here several hats. On one hand, I'm part of the TiE organization. On the other hand, I'm Israeli. I'm the president of TiE Israel. And I feel at home at both worlds. So I'm really happy of this collaboration, wonderful conference. And I think that this is the beginning of a long program, as Mahavir mentioned, but more than that, it connects Israel with Hyderabad. And Israelis usually travel to Delhi, to Bombay, and I think that this event and this program will foster more business collaboration with this part of India, and this is very important as well. So thank you all for this collaboration. This is just the beginning, actually. And have a good conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I remember when we started to speak about our collaboration, so we had a lot of meetings. We have actually weekly meeting with all the group, and we discuss until we find the right way for both of us, Israel and India, Startup Nation and TiE, Hyderabad, to find the right way to collaborate in order to bring not only Israeli startups to penetrate the Indian market and to do significant business in India, also Indian startups will do the same, and they will do it together. And I think that is the main important for us, and hopefully it's going to be only the first stage for our collaboration, and we will see more and more collaboration between TiE Hyderabad, TiE Global, and Startup Nation Central and Israel. So thank you so much for having me here and for the great hospitality and the great summit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vered. In fact, it's heartening to see all the Israeli dignitaries wearing Indian dresses and saris, Thank you so much, trying to be part of our culture. Okay? Appreciate it. It means a lot to us. Okay? Ranvijay, you want to explain a minute about what is this program?
Details. Yeah, it's an ambitious program. The idea is, where it just mentioned, we've been having meetings for the last 3-4 months at least, I think, weekly meetings, all of us. And what we're trying to do here is select 6 startups from Israel, 6 startups from India. And we have a very, a great line of mentors. We have about 20 mentors, combination of Indian and Israeli experts in the field of agri, finance, and other sectors. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. The first cohort is in agri-tech. It's starting end of October. It's going to be for 8 months, and then we have another couple of cohorts looking forward to it.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Avi, for joining us. Can you please summarize and about this program? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And again, it's heartening to see the warm relationship and the ongoing collaborations.
Thank you so much, Avi. We actually have a small gift for you and all of your team members. I know that your team can carry it for you. Okay, so can we have the sustainability kit as a small memento for each of them, please? Yeah, Miss Roni, please. Please. Yeah, you can start giving one by one. So these are the things actually made by the Telangana rural artisans. Okay, so we're trying to give it as a memento from our Sustainability Summit team. Okay. Suresh, would like to join? So we're keeping one for you, Avi. Thank you.
Israel, we have a small momentum of Jerusalem. I'll open it for you. Just a sec. Never mind. We brought you a small Jerusalem. Until you can travel to Israel, you'll have in your offices or wherever you like some memento from Jerusalem, the old city, so that all of you, as I promised yesterday, you must come to Israel. Those of you that been, come again. Thank you. Or we are going to do the TiE retreat in Israel. It's up to Mahavir to decide on that.
Thank you so much, Aneth and Israel team. It means a lot. Thank you so much.
On behalf of our Startup Nation Central, we would like to give you also a gift. And yeah, thank you. It's a book by the name Chutzpah. And Avi, do you want to say something or you want me to say?
No, I'll let you Barrett say, but I think what we try to do is to encompass
Thank you.
Thank you. The book is Chutzpah. Why Israel is a hub. Chutzpah. Okay. Why Israel is a hub of innovation and entrepreneurship by Inbal Areli. Thank you very much, and very apt gift for Hyderabad. Thank you so much.
Round of applause to all the dignitaries on stage. Thank you so much. And I hope with the right kinds of chutzpah, I think a lot of pages to be flipped, a lot of signatures to be done, a lot of partnerships to be built to make sure that this sustainability stays on forever, the relationship stays on forever. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also to our guests who joined all the way from Israel. Now it's time to say buenos dias to our friends from Costa Rica, a beautiful, beautiful country blessed with biodiversity like no other nation. So before I invite on stage His Excellency, could we have the video, the address by Andres Valenciano, Minister of Foreign Trade of Costa Rica. Could we have the video on Essential Costa Rica, please? Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. On behalf of the government of Costa Rica, we want to congratulate India and Israel for the leadership in organizing the TiE Sustainability Summit 2021. At Costa Rica, we look forward to connecting entrepreneurs and investors from around the world and working together towards a common agenda of sustainable growth. Thanks a lot and best wishes on this exciting event.
Someone defines themselves when they reconnect with their spirit, their true essence, the nature that shapes who you are. Who am I? I am an alluring concentration of beauty, rainforests, beaches, and biodiversity. I live in the heart of the Americas, guarded by 2 seas. I am the deep green that entices those seeking relaxation and adventure. And I am so much more. In my essence live the warmth and authenticity of my people, people with open arms who look forward towards the future and welcome opportunities. I am a unique, happy, and caring nation that expresses itself through the diversity of its cultures. I am cradle of human talent, proud people who embrace challenges. I am a nation governed in peace with a solid, long-standing democracy. I stand behind health, education, and the pursuit of self-development as the cornerstones of happiness. In my essence lie the preservation and care for the environment, a model to the world. I breathe the riches of my land, and I recognize the wit of my people, ever capable of giving more than expected. I am a trustworthy and reliable nation, distinguished by the value of what I create. Human development, innovation, and a proven international competitiveness set me apart and enable me to export quality to the world. Those who come to know me are surprised, amazed. My greatest aspirations can be found in my concentrated essence. I am a country that attracts those who seek the value of excellence and the commitment to sustainability. I have much to offer those wishing to purchase, invest, produce, and develop. I have the required human and technological capabilities to achieve this. I rediscover myself by searching within. I find myself in what is vital, in what is true. I rediscover what is important. I am green. I am happiness. I am solidarity. I am talent. I am innovation. I am quality. I am diversity. I am concentration. I am essential Costa Rica.
Beautiful has to be the word that escapes the mouth when we see that. Now is the time for me to grab the opportunity to say bienvenido to His Excellency, Dr. Claudio Anserena, Ambassador, Republic of Costa Rica, to please come up on stage and address the august audience. The stage is all yours, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Mohammed Reddy, President of TiE, and members of TiE community, distinguished authorities of Israel, dear friends, thank you for having me over for this fundamental discussion. As Costa Rican, I take this subject of sustainability as a moral responsibility. My country embarked on this journey of sustainability and eco-sensitivity since the early 70s. As a result, today we run on 99% renewable energy. We expand our forest coverage from 26% in the 1980s to 59% in the present. And we're the first ones to trade carbon credit certificates with Norway that laid the foundations for carbon trading mechanisms around the world. Moreover, we did not keep these experiments and practices to ourselves. We shared it with the world through different forums and channels because we firmly believe that one nation is a singular attempt, but not enough to save the planet. So a global attempt is needed. Therefore, we need to make a global effort and save the planet from the ongoing climate crisis. As we talk right now, the planet is heating. Multiple glaciers are melting, salinity in the oceans are increasing, and the sea levels are rising. This grotesque picture is the reality of our times, coupled with the misfortune of global failure to deal with this crisis. But this is not only an environmental crisis, but also a crisis of the model of society that we have constructed. Just to make this point clear, if all the population of the world would aspire to have the consumption levels of energy and resources of the United States, we would need 3 Earths. And even if it sounds too obvious, we only have 1. Having said this not so optimistic scenario, let me mention some of the most relevant initiatives that Costa Rica has launched in pursuit of these sustainability goals that I would like to share with you. First, the Canadian Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Association and the Costa Rican Hydrogen Association have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote cooperation between the two countries in the development of zero-emission technologies, beginning with hydrogen energy. The High Ambition Coalition, an informal group of approximately 61 countries within the UN Framework Convention of Climate Change, committed to advancing progressive proposals on climate ambitions. The group has succeeded in securing the Paris Agreement's most ambitious provisions, including the 5-year take-up cycles of nationally determined contributions, as well as a language in Article 2 related to pursuing efforts to limit the temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance, Denmark and Costa Rica are trying to forge an alliance of countries willing to fix a date to phase out oil and gas production and to stop giving permits for new exploration. Finally, and the most ambitious one, Costa Rica aims for decarbonization economy with a net zero emission before 2050, in a manner of consistent with the long-term goal of limiting increase of average global temperature to 1.5 centigrades above pre-industrial levels. In conclusion, today, developing countries face the dual challenge of combating climate change and achieving economic growth simultaneously. These countries lack the technology sophistication required to deal with this challenge. If these countries depend solely on indigenous development technology, it would take much longer for them to achieve the level of technological advancement that developed countries already have, delaying global action to address climate change. Thus, technology transfer from developed countries to developing countries becomes a crucial component of the Climate Action Plan, and that's why this coalition of India, Israel, and Costa Rica, and the Sustainability Summit created by the TiE that we are inaugurating today is so important. We need to bring together the TiE and business communities before we miss the bus and commit to save our planet for future generations. Thank you once again, and looking forward to a fruitful discussion and concrete results from this great initiative of TiE that I congratulate and celebrate. Thank you very much.
Now I request on stage Mr. Suresh Raju to please come up and hand over a bag which has artifacts and food grains so indigenous of the land of Telangana. Thank you so much, sir. Pleasure having you here. So all the things that we've been experiencing since yesterday, today, and maybe the next few days wouldn't have been possible without the support of our very own Adani Group. So could we have a quick AV of Adani Group, please? Thank you. Amazing, amazing. So now I would request Mr. Manohar Reddy, Chair TSS 2021, to please come up on stage and introduce and welcome Sri Gautam Adani, Chairman, Adani Group.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce our grand keynote speaker, who needs no introduction, Mr. Gautam Adani, the founder and chairman of the Adani Group. Mr. Adani is a first-generation entrepreneur who has redefined the infrastructure space in India. What makes them an ideal partner for this summit is the fact that the Adani Group is the new largest solar power generation company in the world, and it's well on its way to become the world's largest renewable energy company by 2030. Mr. Adani talk is appropriately titled as No Vaccine for Climate Change. I am sure we will find the next 20 minutes an inspiration as we hear from the man aiming to produce the least expensive green electron in the world. Thank you, Mr. Adani. Over to Ahmedabad.
Hello friends. It is good to be back at TiE 2021. I'm told that the registration have exceeded 40,000, making this the largest ever TiE event, the largest ever entrepreneurship conference, and the largest ever gathering of social enterprises in the world. This is indeed the greatest platform for entrepreneurs, and as a fellow entrepreneur, there is no other stage where I feel more at home. I also see that Startup Nation Central from Israel and the government of Costa Rica are partners in this summit. Their participation is the perfect representation of the top two themes of the ongoing global conversations: sustainability and technology. There is no greater country than Costa Rica when it comes to commitment to sustainability, a nation where 98% of its energy needs is met by renewable sources. And there is no greater nation than Israel when it comes to technology leadership. If there were ever a time when the world needed motivated entrepreneurs to help solve the biggest challenges that we have as a humans have perhaps ever faced, that time is now. I'm glad to see that the entire TiE Summit this year is devoted to the topic of sustainability. Let me start by setting some context. The COVID-19 pandemic demonstrated the world's inability to react effectively to a multidimensional global crisis that demands coordinated policy responses. It showed how quickly system breakdowns can cascade from one area to the other. It exposed the severe gaps in basic systems, including healthcare, education, mass transit networks, supply chains, and financial markets. The way we have led our lives and done business over the past 50 years cannot continue. At least pandemics like COVID-19 can be countered by vaccines. The Director General of the World Health Organization summarized it well when he said there is no vaccine for a climate change. The annual rate of increase in atmosphere carbon dioxide emission since 1970 is up almost 100 times. The search for sustainable solution starts with admitting that the current situations is unsustainable. An even bigger concern is the impact climate change will have on the poorest segment of the populations. Studies show that the social impact of climate change is irreversible. Therefore, the task before us is not just to find a solution to climate change, but also to ensure through science, policy and technological development that the principle of equitability are not ignored. Solution should allow us to bridge the trade-off between economic, social, privacy and environment policies. A CO2 molecule released in the west is just as damaging to the east. A CO2 molecule released by the rich is just as damaging to the poor. A CO2 molecule released by the already born is just as damaging to the soon to be born. As an entrepreneur, I stay optimistic. It is my belief that the COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to find the will to kickstart a massive ESG-driven economic transformations. I am also confident that the most viable climate change solutions will be digital and technology-driven, supported by policies that help accelerate adoptions. My optimism comes from the realization that the impact of the pandemic would have been far more terrible had the digital technologies of today been absent. This should be an indication of the opportunity before us. I also believe this convergence of sustainability and digitization will establish a new disruptive business models that will create the next set of unicorns. This is where organizations like TiE become essential. They enable collaboration across entrepreneurs and investors who see opportunity wherever intersections and friction exist. And the only way we can reduce the friction that sustainability generates in today's business is through the intersection with the technology. Let me now talk about India. Last year, when I spoke here, I had said that over the next 3 decades, India will become a $28 trillion economy. It is now expected that by 2050, India's per capita income will expand from about 138 to what that of the United States to 1/3 of the latter's per capita income. That is an astonishing rise. Also in 2050, the median age of the 1.6 billion Indians will still be just 38 years. The world will never ever again see a middle class as large as the one India will have, and that at such a peak consuming age. In addition, the digital acceleration in India is just beginning and will create a tailwind not yet factored into the assumed 8% nominal growth rate. I fundamentally believe the Indian economy is still to hit its inflection point of decades of double-digit growth. Therefore, I now think I may have understated my 2050 GDP projections of $28 trillion. Also, given the sheer growth in end consumption rates, I expect India to become the world's top target destination for an immense quantum of FDI over this period, making the tailwind even stronger. While we all realize that the growth models are projections, it is my firm belief that the opportunities India has ahead of it make it the most exciting investment destination on the planet. Specifically for technologies that enable sustainability, this nation should be an entrepreneur's dreamland. Let me next discuss the specific opportunity around sustainability and a drill down to where I see the biggest near-term possibility. At the upcoming COP26 summit in Glasgow in November, the world's most powerful countries will lay the foundation for a series of global policy changes. I believe this will be transformational and will accelerate the economic opportunities arising out of the global effort to combat climate change. As technologies evolve rapidly, this opportunity will equate to trillions of dollars of investment. This include next generation high efficiency solar panels, low carbon materials that make the largest offshore wind turbines affordable, mainstreaming of carbon capture technologies, various fit-for-purpose battery technologies, algorithm-driven smarter and distributed grids, electric mobility, and hydrogen-related technologies. Of all these technologies, today solar is the fastest growing source of power. Over the past decade, the price of solar panel has dropped by 90%, and possibly over the next decade, we will see price drops of the same magnitude as panels become even more efficient and new materials come into play. The fact is that the marginal cost of solar power is moving towards zero, and this is both transformative and disruptive. However, as always, it is the combination or intersections of technologies that creates disruptive business models. The combination, which I believe is a game-changing model for sustainability, is that of solar generation and hydrogen productions. It is fascinating that a photon can travel 90 million miles in 9 minutes to hit a piece of silicon on Earth. This in turn generates an electron to split an H2O molecule, leading to the release of a proton, or what we call a hydrogen atom, and now seen as the ultimate source of a dense green energy. In fact, our Earth receives enough photons every hour to meet our global energy needs for an entire year. The ability of this near zero cost electron to economically split H2O molecule and create 100% green hydrogen in the future is a near certainty. Hydrogen is the trigger for the smarter use of other renewables by becoming the long-term transport and distributed storage solution for electricity. It is the key link in the energy transition journey that, along with the wind and solar, will stabilize decentralized power generation. For India, decentralized power generation can be a massive game changer, especially for the rural populations. Decentralized power allows us to improve grid resiliency and microsize everything. It enables micro manufacturing, micro agriculture, micro healthcare, micro education, everything that India's rural population today needs for empowerment and job creation. While there are many challenges still to be addressed, I am confident that we are on the cusp of a hydrogen-driven revolutions that can transform India, Green India, and energize India. This is nation building at its best. I would even go as far as to state that the revolution in alternative energy technologies throws open the possibility that someday India can become a net green energy exporter. Hydrogen and its derivatives can replace a significant amount of our imports of a crude oil, natural gas, and coal. This was impossible to even contemplate just 5 years back. Such is the power of unification of technologies that create the most disruptive business models. For an entrepreneur, this is paradise, a landscape of endless possibility, global in nature and spread over decades. What makes all of this even more exciting is the intersection of sustainable energy with the advances in digital technologies. This technology-driven energy transition will disrupt existing industries and at the same time create new ones. Artificial intelligence is now an inevitable universal accelerator. We live in a world where the convergence of powerful and inexpensive computing and the ability to collect a massive amount of data is fast making AI a general purpose technology that will make a tremendous difference to sustainability. Be it the design of distributed grids that enable optimizing the energy sources feeding the grid, or being able to design systems that are self-healing or allowing the micro-sizing of energy. The possibilities are limitless. India, through the sheer strength of its supply and demand for energy, will be among nations best placed to benefit. While this scenario emerged, the Adani Group is not sitting still. We are tripling our solar power generation capacity over the next 4 years. This is a rate of growth currently unmatched by any other company anywhere on the planet. Our renewables portfolio has reached the initial target of 25 gigawatt, a full 4 years ahead of schedule. Today, we are already the world's largest solar power player. This puts well on track to be the world's largest renewable power generating company by 2030. Also, over the next decade, we will invest over $20 billion in renewable energy generations. Our overall organic and inorganic investment across the entire green energy value chain will range between $50 and $70 billion. This will include investment with the potential partners for electrolyzer manufacturing, backward integration to secure the supply chain for our solar and wind generation businesses, and AI-based industrial cloud platforms. We are confident that our integrated value chain, our scale and experience put us on the road to be the producer of the least expensive green electron anywhere in the world. This advantage opens several new pathways for us, including setting us up to be one of the largest green hydrogen producer in the world, thereby opening up additional possibilities to be partner of choice for several other industrial businesses. As I wrap up, I would like to leave you with a message. A few research studies indicate that the Indus Valley civilization underwent a period of climate change about 4,000 years ago. The outcome appears to be uncertain. However, today, we are aware of the effects of a climate change, and the outcome cannot be uncertain. What we need is the will. And who better than the Indus entrepreneur to enable this will The TiE platform is unmatched in scale and it must take the responsibility to trigger a movement which brings together an ecosystem of entrepreneurs and investors that work together to build equitable solution for a sustainable world. Congratulations once again for this tremendous event and thank you for the opportunity to talk to all of you.
Right. Our heartfelt gratitude to Sri Gautam Adani for this beautiful message and sensitizing us to the opportunity that we have in hand. The next thing I get to introduce, trust me, it's an absolute privilege. I'm talking about a state that ranks second when it comes to solar power capacity per unit area. I'm talking about the state that's ranked third in Business Reform Action Plan according to 2019 survey. And yes, I am talking about the bulk drug production capital of the country with a 40% share in the total production. So yes, can we have the video which is aptly titled Telangana, Mana Telangana, the startup state? Could we have it please? Thank you.
The youngest and the fastest growing state in India, Telangana is scaling new heights. IT exports surpassing rupees 1.45 lakh crore. Direct employment has touched 6.28 lakh. State's GSDP achieved rupees 9.78 lakh crore, contributing 5% to nation's GDP. The per capita income in Telangana is 2.27 lakh rupees compared to nation's 1.27 lakh rupees. $23 billion worth of investments. The foundation of this phenomenal growth story has begun in 2014. The year Telangana was born out of decades of struggle and sacrifice.
With the three things being in place, with decisive leadership, with stable government, with the global economic slowdown now showing signs of improvement, most definitely Hyderabad is likely to take off in days to come. Therefore, our Honorable Chief Minister has already asked to come up with a master plan, a world-class master plan, encompassing all the possibilities, all the requirements for an international city, for a city like Hyderabad to go to the next stage and truly become a global city. So therefore, the idea is the whole agitation, what has happened in the last 4 or 5 years is a thing of the past. We are now looking to move forward. We are now looking towards progressive, inclusive governance. We are looking at Hyderabad with a great deal of hope. This government is committed to making Hyderabad the top-notch IT destination in India. We will do everything and anything to make this goal happen, to make this mission successful.
Thus, the journey began as a startup state. TiE was founded in 2015 to institutionally build a startup innovation ecosystem. The central theme is to create a unique model of innovation for the state.
Telangana is the newest state of India. We are striving very hard to achieve progress in every economic activity. In the sector of information technology, we have a young minister dealing with this. We are also making a rapid progress. Come to Telangana, invest in Telangana, let us grow together.
The IT exports have grown to rupees 1.45 lakh crore during 2020-21, from rupees 1.28 lakh crore in 2019-20, despite the COVID-enforced work from home. The IT exports were 57,000 crores 7 years ago when Telangana was formed. IT exports grew at a CAGR of 14.25% since the state formation. Employment in the state IT sector touched 6.28 lakh with a net addition of 46,500 jobs. This is 8% growth over last year. In 2014, when the state was formed, 3.23 lakh people were employed in the IT sector. With 2.5 times more indirect jobs created, about 20 lakh people are dependent on the IT segment.
Your existing investor is your biggest brand ambassador. Facebook, Qualcomm, Xilinx, Accenture, Wells Fargo, Microsoft, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, TCS, IBM, Cognizant. All of these companies have grown in terms of employment.
With new players coming in, Hyderabad saw demand for office space rise. Hyderabad topped Bengaluru in office space absorption for 2 quarters. No metro has done this before. Hyderabad has become the epicenter for BFSI investments. In recent years, Hyderabad has attracted multinational banking giants.
What Telangana has been able to do in the last 7 years, with the kind of brands we've been able to attract, with the kind of marquee names we've been able to attract, it's a great story to tell. Each investment by itself is a major story. We were able to get more than 20 marquee Fortune 500 companies, all of them global leaders in their own space, in the last 7 years.
Telangana is intent on overall development building on existing strengths and also identifying new areas to make the growth journey more vibrant.
With the second ICT policy is to empower and enable the citizens of the state belonging to all backgrounds to take advantage of the growing digital world. From being able to use basic smartphone applications to be able to work on advanced technologies, we will enable citizens to live a better digital life.
Telangana promises. Telangana delivers.
Anything in Telangana and Hyderabad that deserves attention, that deserves care, finds the support from the next person I'm about to introduce. Yes, most of you would have guessed it already. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce Shri Jayesh Ranjan, IAS Principal Secretary of INC and Information Technology Government of Telangana. So I request you to come on stage and address the august gathering. Stage is all yours.
Thank you, Harish. Good afternoon, dignitaries. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Claudio Ansorena, Her Excellency Deputy Chief of Mission Mrs. Ronnie Klein, dignitaries, Ms. Anat Bernstein-Reich, Ms. Vered Mivzari, senior leadership from TiE, Mr. Mahavir Sharma, Mr. Manohar Reddy, Mr. Suresh Raju, invitees, guests. It's a matter of great honor and satisfaction that the TiE Sustainability Summit 2021, the largest event of its kind, is taking place here in Hyderabad. We are also very happy that we have already witnessed some momentous announcements, some important partnership and collaboration agreements, and there'll be more to come over the next 2.5 days. We are very happy to showcase the state of Telangana on this platform, glimpses of which you saw in the video which was played a while ago. But I'd like to share certain other aspects as well. Telangana state was born in 2014. At that point in time, the state was considered to be a drought-prone state. Agriculture used to be jeopardized literally every second year because of poor rainfall. Production was low, productivity was low. The workers, largely those who used to rely on agriculture operations, they used to migrate out of the state. This state used to be a big state for outbound migration. Lots of outbound migrants in different parts of the country could be traced to Telangana. The forest cover of this state was much below the national average. The groundwater levels were less. The power situation was not very comfortable. In fact, I remember before 2014 also, I used to be a part of the industries wing of the government, and I remember there used to be 3 days of power holiday in a week, which means that you were denying power to industries for 3 days of the 7 days in a week. And that was really very crippling. So the state was born amidst lots of difficult circumstances. But I'm very proud to state today that all that is a thing of the past. We have achieved tremendous success in a manner which shows exemplary planning, great execution, and most of all, a very clear vision about sustainability. So certain things which I'm going to share with you now will really leave you with a sense of wonderment and amazement. For example, Telangana has embarked upon one of the world's largest tree plantation program. This is called Harita Haram. In fact, over a period of 5 years, we are striving to plant 2.4 billion trees. If you look at the internet, etc., you will find that this is going to be the third largest effort in human history of this scale. And it is not just planting trees randomly. There's lots of science, there's lots of effort, which species are important, what are the locations to plant, and most importantly, how to ensure survival of whatever you are planting. So it is not being attempted just for the sake of numbers or getting some records, but to really make a difference. Telangana, in the historical days, was an area which was ruled by kings. The kings which were ruling Telangana in the 16th century and 17th century were called the Kakatiya kings. And apart from many other things that they have contributed to this region, they also built large number of tanks. In fact, this will surprise people. Telangana has close to 47,000 tanks dotted all over the state. But again, due to years and centuries of neglect, most of these tanks were eroded. The chains which used to link one tank with the other, they were all broken. And that also led to loss of groundwater retention, and had its impact on agriculture operations as well. In the last 5 years, again, under a very focused project, which is called Mission Kakatiya, as I said, the name gives a tribute to the rulers, the emperors in the 16th century, who originally designed this concept of water bodies. The government has taken a very ambitious program to revive each of these water bodies. So I again feel very proud to share with you that of the 47,000 water bodies which are getting revived under Mission Kakatiya, almost 85% of them have been completely revived. And year after year, when rains happen in this part of the country, in this part of the world, these water bodies get filled up. They provide opportunity to farmers to continue their agriculture operations in a reliable manner. And most importantly, they contribute to the increasing groundwater of the state. So one of the very important SDGs about safe water, clean water, etc., we have been able to meet this in such an environmentally sustainable fashion. Already it was mentioned by our host Harish about the solar power generation goals and achievements of the state. The country's goal is to ensure that 10% of your power generation is contributed by renewable sources. And we have exceeded that much, much more. In fact, our contribution through solar power largely is more than 15%. And in absolute numbers, we are second only after Karnataka in terms of the solar power capacity. More than 3,000 megawatt of energy of the state is generated through solar. Again, it was mentioned, I guess Mr. Adani mentioned it, about the importance of electric mobility. Again, this is a state which has come out a couple of years ago with a very progressive electric mobility policy, and we have seen amazing results. The approach that we are taking towards electric mobility is to lead by example using the public transportation systems. We want the public transport to transition into electric mobility, and that will give a very good demonstration effect to consumers who will also be motivated to convert their automobiles into EVs. And when they see large number of public transport vehicles plying on the road, the concern whether you have enough charging infrastructure or not, even that will get addressed. So I personally feel that in Telangana, every decision that we have taken in the past 7 years or so, they have been, the foundation is, at the foundational level are principles of sustainability. We do not want to do anything that damages the environment. We want actually to, as Manohar Reddy Garu mentioned in his opening remarks, he mentioned the definition of sustainability and how do you take care of the needs of the generations that follow us. In the presentation, it was mentioned, and MC Harish also spoke about it, that Hyderabad is the pharmaceutical capital of the world, not just this country. And we know that this industry is more than 5 decades old in Hyderabad. And because of the fact that this is a very old industry, there are limitations to the way that industry can grow now. So to help this industry grow bigger, make bigger contribution to our GSDP, create more number of jobs, we are setting up the world's largest industrial park dedicated to life sciences, which is called the Hyderabad Pharma City. And even before the decision was taken to find the location of this pharma city, to take all the subsequent steps, one very clear message which we received from our Chief Minister was that the pharma city has to have the world's best, even certain technologies which are still not even implemented. You have to be that futuristic in terms of environmental management. We know that pharma industry is polluting, and we also know that in parts of Telangana, the industry has had very adverse consequences on the environment. But when the new pharma city is getting developed, he is very clear, our Chief Minister is very clear, that the latest science and technology and knowledge has to be demonstrated in this pharma city. So we are ensuring the world's most advanced technologies to take care of the effluents, to take care of the waste, to take care of the liquid waste, solid waste. And we believe in, as much as possible, the principles of recycling. So what we consider waste, is there a possibility to use it in some other ways, again to support industrial synergy? And that is how the pharma city is getting designed and implemented. So the point that I'm trying to make is, this is one state which, as I said, is just 7 years old, but has already demonstrated in umpteen domains how sustainable growth can be achieved without jeopardizing or compromising on the very important environmental concerns. I'm also very happy to share with you that while we keep saying that the government is driving this developmental agenda, keeping the principles of sustainability in mind, it is not just the government. All stakeholders, all our partners in development, be it the private sector, be it the academia, be it NGOs and enterprises, most importantly, be it startups. Since this is a TiE summit, I cannot really avoid talking about startups. Each of our stakeholders also have bought into this great vision of ours to promote development with complete environmentally sustainable features, people sustainable features. So lots of corporates also who are working in Telangana. You saw in the presentation, in the video, the who's who of the world have invested in Telangana. I'm happy to share with you that all of them follow important norms of sustainability. So for instance, in the video, you saw Amazon's largest building in the world. Even in Seattle, their headquarters, they do not have so much of office space in one single building. That building itself is rated with the highest rating standards for buildings as compared for green building. They have got the platinum rating for that particular building which you saw in the video. And there are countless other examples of every corporate taking responsibility, being conscious of the fact that their footprint should be absolutely carbon neutral. I also mentioned that there are lots of startups who are in the business of sustainable solutions, sustainable products. The video told to us that we have tried in the last 7 years to develop a very deep-rooted innovation ecosystem. And that innovation ecosystem is today propelled by world-class institutions like the TiE, the VHub, the TWorks, RICH, TSIC, and so on and so forth. And each of these institutions has been given a mandate that clean technologies is an important domain for us. We have identified 7 domains where we want our startups to really shine, and one of them is clean technologies. And I'm very happy to share with you that tomorrow we have been given roughly about an hour and a half, 90 minutes. It starts at 11 o'clock Indian time till 12:30 Indian time. During these 1.5 hours, we are showcasing about a dozen startups who have an amazing array of products and solutions in different dimensions related to sustainability. So do participate, do join in this state-specific track that is happening before you tomorrow at 11 a.m. But the point is that these startups receive lots of support and encouragement from the government. So anyway, I'll leave that story for tomorrow. I guess the startups themselves will tell you why did they chose to get into that particular line of activity and what kind of support, what kind of enablement they have achieved in Telangana. So that's a story for tomorrow. But as I said, do join in because it will be a very fascinating track. The last thing that I want to really comment upon is that I'm very happy that the organizers have brought very valued partners to this summit. The excellencies are present here, the ambassador of Costa Rica, the deputy chief of mission of the Israeli embassy. These are 2 countries, as other speakers also pointed out, which exemplify the best of sustainable living, sustainable activities in their own countries. I was telling to Anat, my old friend, that I've been to Israel now 7 times, and every time I go there, I discover something new, something very exciting, and definitely it's a role model country for us. To be able to forge this partnership and hopefully bring all the good practices of Israel into our country is again something which I really look forward to. Similarly, Costa Rica, while I have not been there personally, but Mr. Manohar Reddy has gone there so many times. He tells me so many wonderful things. He had once given me an article about how through policies, through law, people have the government in Costa Rica has been able to maintain the best global environmental standards. And a few months ago, when the ambassador was here, at that point in time, we were discussing in our state a possibility of massive oil palm cultivation. And Costa Rica is a country where that happens. So we were discussing how the oil palm cultivation practices also can be introduced in India, in Telangana particularly, following the ways it is done in Costa Rica. We know that oil palm is cultivated, let us say, in some other countries also. I don't want to name any other country or run down any other country, but we know which countries I'm talking about. They plant all these in a very, very unsustainable manner by clearing existing forests and so on and so forth. So that is not something which we wish to do, and we wish to emulate Costa Rica. And I'm sure there are so many other great things about Costa Rica also that we will really benefit from. The biggest takeaway for me is the participation of the Adani Group as the supporter and sponsor for this event. There are multiple activities the Adani Group does. Many of them are here in the state of Telangana as well. But it's very heartening to know that the groups, again, they follow a triple bottom line model, and environmental goals are very much their own goals also. This is something we became aware of during the World Economic Forum last year. As you saw in the video, our minister attended World Economic Forum in 2020. And in that forum, I also was accompanying him. We realized that there were typically, we have been there earlier also, typically a large part of WEF at Davos, that is devoted to political discussions, geopolitical discussions, trade-related discussions, which are also very informative and very useful. But last year, in 2020, I noticed that more number of sessions were devoted to environmental issues, to green issues, to global climate change challenges, etc. And I remember the minister and I were in a session where some of the biggest names in the corporate world, at least 50 of them, if not more, they jointly pledged multiple commitments which they all wanted to fulfill together. And one which I remember very vividly was a declaration or a commitment that all of them put together will plant 1 trillion trees in the next 5 years. So very, very kind of exciting to see the Adani Group, Mr. Adani himself, sharing the same values and the same commitments with us. And I do hope that part of that will happen in Telangana also, because what he mentioned and what we are already doing seem extremely well aligned. So I'm very happy at the way the Sustainability Summit has turned out. I do hope that this will not be a one-off kind of a thing. I wish TiE decides, since Mr. Sharma is here and other global leaders are here, I wish this becomes an annual event, because if you do it year after year after year, the impact definitely is bound to be very, very large. And particularly at a time when the whole world is looking at new meanings in this post-pandemic scenario, this will be a very appropriate discussion, a very appropriate conversation to have repeatedly, at least for the next decade, if not more, if you really want to see very strong grounds of action. Once again, my congratulations to the organizers for putting together such a brilliant event. And once again, a warm welcome to all the guests, delegates and participants on behalf of the government of Telangana. Thank you very much.
Check. Thank you so much, sir. Absolute pleasure to have you here. Mr. Manohar has something to share here.
Yes.
Mr. Manohar.
Hello. So, thank you very much for that wonderful summary, sir. Please, 1 minute, sir. So, Jayesh has been, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan Garu has been a friend of industry, and he has been the brand ambassador for so many social enterprises. If you see that, actually what he wears is from the Pochampalli ecological kind of clothing, and he supports a lot of artisans, and he is one of the handmade by the weavers. Okay, so he has been a walking ambassador for most of the social enterprises. Having said that, he is one of the busiest IAS officers in the state, but last 2 days he has taken time to make sure that the 90 minutes is actually designed in a way that those 11 top startups in Telangana are identified, and he personally offered to moderate that session. So he is going to talk to each of those startups, and that shows the interest and passion of the state, and I have no doubts why Hyderabad cannot become the destination for the sustainability entrepreneurship ecosystem. Thank you so much, sir, for all the support, and been wonderful to be in Hyderabad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Manohar. And as you rightly said, with that ikat jacket, it's not just a fashion statement, it's a statement way beyond that. Thank you so much, sir. Next, something that's very important when we talk about innovation. If we just focus on the urban hubs, it's surely not going to be enough. It's important that we go above and beyond the urban hubs and tap the umpteen potential that we have in the rural areas. So for the Rural Innovators announcement, I invite on stage Mr. Suresh Raju, Conference Co-Chair, and also Mr. Kali Prasad Gadiraju, TiE Global Trustee, to please come on stage and talk to us a little about the Rural Innovator sessions. Thank you.
First of all, thank you. Thank you, Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, for being part of our session today. And I just want to talk a little bit about what we are trying to do with the Rural Innovators Program. First, as you all know, TiE is about giving back. We all charter members, 130 of them here in Hyderabad, have volunteered to spend our time to create the next layer of entrepreneurs. The principle when Professor C.K. Prahlad talked about TiE and the original design of TiE was to give back to the bottom of the pyramid. And when we spoke to Jayesh Garu also, he talked about doing more for rural innovators. As an inspiration from that, TiE Hyderabad chapter is launching a rural innovators program where we want to help, given the ecosystem of charter members and their expertise, in guiding them towards, through mentorship program, through investment creators there, and also through designing their operational efficiencies at the rural level. And this Rural Innovators Program will be a key change from what they are thinking, very local. Can they actually think bigger? Can we help them with our support and our mentors to talk more about how to take it to a global standard? We also have a great talk today where in the evening, we talk about coffee, Araku coffee, going from tribal Andhra Pradesh to being in Paris. It is a great story about how we can do a lot for rural innovators. With that, I hand over to Kaligari here.
Thank you, Suresh. I think we are all witnessing the huge transformation happening across the various cities in India. And you all notice that every month we are creating almost like more than a dozen new unicorns. So that innovation, that transformation is sustaining the cities. But India is not in cities. More than 70% of India is in rural areas. And unless we bring transformation of the rural areas, the sustainability of development is not possible in this country. So to sustain the development in the cities, we need to transform the rural areas. And that's where TiE wants to focus on. That's where TiE wants to contribute in whatever it is possible to promote the innovation in those rural areas. Towards making this possible, we need to raise funds. And we, in the next maybe few months, would be raising more than 15 crores as grant money, not an investment money, it is a grant money for the rural innovators. And a significant part of it has already been tied up. And in the next few months, we will be able to talk to a few more corporates and get the funding. And these funds will be deployed in the rural areas, supporting the best innovators. And this, I think, over a period of time, will become bigger and bigger. And that will be a contribution coming from TiE nationally and globally. Thank you.
Thank you, Kali. As you can see from the framework here, onboarding, nurturing, monetizing. These are some things that TiE does well at a city level and in the urban areas. We want to take this to the rural innovators next. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kali. And the 15 crore number, thank you so much for giving us the hope that we are getting there and we'll get it done. Right, next I would request Mr. Mano Reddy to please come up on stage and talk to us about TSS Sustainability Startup Awards. The stage is all yours, sir.
So I'm happy to announce that this year, the TiE Sustainability Summit, TSS Adani Sustainability Awards. We have a few tremendous social enterprises that are having a huge impact in the space of sustainability. So we have followed a rigorous process of selection, given that we had over 1,000 social enterprises that we had to choose from. So I'm hopeful that this TSS Sustainability Social Enterprises Awards become a regular feature in our future events. So we'll be having a dedicated awards ceremony on the last day of this summit, which is on 6th October. And that will be the closing ceremony for the event. Thank you very much. I think you can see the objective of these awards. So we want to recognize the social enterprises with the deep impact on society and encourage the enterprises to continue the impact on the society and planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you
and
so much.
with that, I would like to, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So when we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about recycling. And when we're talking about recycling, we are cycling. So we started this discussion with three gentlemen on stage, and we would love to close this the same way. So I request on stage Mr. Suresh Raju, Conference Co-Chair, and Mr. Mahavir Sharma, Co-Chair, to please come up on stage for the vote of thanks and the closing remarks. Thank you so much. The stage is all yours, gentlemen.
So first of all, I wanted to thank all the delegates, including Dr. Claudio, His Excellency Dr. Claudio Ansorina, the Ambassador of Costa Rica. We would like to thank Anath, who has come from Israel, not just the TiE-Israel part, she also represents the entrepreneurship ecosystem there. We thank, of course, Ms. Ronnie Edidia Clean, who has taken time to come here and join us. We thank Ms. Vared from Startup Nation Central. We thank Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, our own Telangana Principal Secretary of Industries and IT. And we thank Mr. Sudipta Bhattacharya and of course Dr. Ramesh Raman from the Adani Group. And we thank Mr. A.G. Karunakaran, the President of TiE Silicon Valley, and several other delegates who have joined us. We also wanted to have a nice photo picture of our presidents, past presidents on the stage. But before that, I need to thank people who have worked for the last 2 months, day and night. And I just wanted to put up the photographs of all of these committee members who have done such a fantastic job. Okay, all the committee chairs, and of course the committee members, and TiE Secretariat team, and the interns, associate members, and of course the charter members. Done a fantabulous job, and this would not have been possible without all your dedication and support. I know that you all can go back and probably sleep well after 6th. We just have another 2.5 days of intense sessions. But thank you so much, and thank you, the Frames team that have been working again with us for the last almost like from TGS days, and they've done a fabulous job. You want to take over?
I just want to add that we had a planning committee several months ago, and then from planning committee to speaker committee to content committees, and then investor, golf committee, and so on. So n number of people from the TiE ecosystem, especially TiE Hyderabad, the charter members, 35 of them have actually participated in making this session possible virtually. 200 speakers, 65 different sessions, streaming through 4 different tracks simultaneously for 2.5 days. It's a big achievement. Thank you all. I also want to thank some of the charter members and presidents of other chapters, TiE London, Silicon Valley, TiE Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi. They've all contributed immensely to the whole process of creating the first conference on sustainability. In addition, I would say that the interns, the team behind us, the secretariat, everybody has worked day and night to make this happen. Thank you, everyone. And I would request some of the committee chairs to please come onto the stage. I can see Sanjay there, Srikant, please do come on. Kali Garu, please. Jay Garu, past president and original founder of TiE Hyderabad. Request all of you to join us on the stage.
All the charter members, can you please join us on the stage? And we would also request the delegates to join us for a group photograph, please. Dr. Ansorino, Jayesh Garu, Vered. Please, all the charter members, can you please join us on the stage? Anil, everybody. Jayesh Garu, Sudipta, Ramesh.
Murli Bukkabatnam, Anil, Venkat Kamlakar, our board members, Nazir Ali Kanji, please welcome. Abhijit, Ranvijay. Huh?
Oil. There is oil in I know. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us. So this is also a great opportunity to thank our gold partners, Hooper Labs, represented by Mr. Srikanth Tirumala, AHAM, Mr. Murli Bukapatnam, Brightcom Group, Mr. Suresh Reddy, Fuji, Mr. Manohar Reddy, 72Pi, Mr. Suresh Raju, and Target Accelerators, Ms. Naini Musa. Our partners and collaborators, Republic of Costa Rica, Startup Nation Central, Satwa Consulting, Impact Investor Council, TiE Israel, and Clean. This surely wouldn't have been possible without your support. Thank you so much for trusting on us. Thank you so much. So I think we can say we just got the ball rolling. There's so much more to do. Right, and we just wanted to make sure there was enough space to get on stage the people who have managed to put their blood, sweat, and whatnot to make this possible. So invite the entire TiE Secretariat, right? The entire team, Vamshi, Ms. Shanti, the entire team to please come up on stage. Manasi, Pragya, Meghna, right? I request all of you to come on stage. If Sandeep, Bhargav, right? All of you surely deserve a place on the stage that you managed to set up for all of us to experience. Request the entire team to please come up on stage. This has been your playground. You created this. This is surely a great opportunity for you to come up here, please. Right, and if we have some of your team members outside the hall, request you to please usher them in so that we are able to have this lovely opportunity. All the interns, okay, so we are thanking you the last but not the least. All the interns who have worked with us, request all of you to please come up on stage. All the interns who made this possible, request you to please come up on stage. Did I miss a name? Vamshi, you need to tell me. Sandeep, yes. Right, I see something rolling down. Yeah, that has to be Sandeep. Thank you, Sandeep. This photo surely wouldn't be complete without you. So we are waiting for you to click this picture. That will surely be etched on the sands of time. Thank you so much. Please, please, please request all of you to please come join us on stage. Am I missing another name? Any other names? Vamshi. Varnika, wherever you are. Saurabh from the team Frames. You can actually come with that headset on, right? That would be a great tribute to the kind of work that you've done. Harshita, you've been creating memories for a lot of us here, so please join us on stage, right? So that we are able to create this memory for all of us. Lovely to have all of you here. Ashrit, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, because last evening I saw this bunch of people glued onto their laptop planning things to the T. If you anybody deserves to be on stage, it has to be this team for sure, right? Lovely having you here. This is surely going to be a great memory for all of you for the hard work that you invested. 2.5 more days, and I'm pretty sure this will be worth it. As I said, we've just got the ball rolling. 2.5 days of the summit yet to go. But as they say, well begun, half done. We've started on a great note. And with the kind of efforts that the members and volunteers are investing, this is bound to be a super duper success. Thank you so much. Lovely having you on stage. And with that, right, and with that, I would also grab this opportunity to present to all of you the virtual platform on which we're going to be running the summit for the next 2.5 days. It is surely worthwhile to stay back and take a glimpse of the platform on which we are building this whole thing. So can we have the AV for the virtual platform, please? Check. Thank you so much. So that is the platform on which we're going to be having the rest of this summit. The next 2.5 days. So please do make sure you are there for this amazing meeting. With that, it's the curtains for the in-person summit launch. And I think we have set the ball rolling for all the right reasons. I request all of you to join us for lunch outside so that we are able to network, and find more reasons to work together. So that's curtain. So thank you very much. So it's me, Harish Bharadwaj, signing off on behalf of TiE Hyderabad. Thank you, folks. Have a great day ahead.